Texas Roadhouse press conference. Football began their second week of training camp today, and today was the first day of practice for men's and women's soccer, men's and women's cross country, and volleyball. We'll start games on campus in just a little over 2 weeks. So we've got a busy first week, that first week of September, with volleyball playing on campus for the first time to open their season. Men's and women's soccer doubleheader that Thursday, and football playing at home the first week of the year. Okay, we'll get started today with Skylar Friel. She was a first-team All-SC member last year and was part of the All-Academic team, and she's going into her senior year at UTPB. All right, so Skylar, just talk about today being the first day of training camp and getting started on your senior year.
It's pretty crazy. That's my last year. I really can't believe it. Today we came in all really focused, all really committed. We passed our fitness test, and then we also just got some touches, got some rest off, so it looked pretty good.
Is it bittersweet knowing that it's your last season?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be hard on me. I mean, I just can't believe like this is going to be my last go-around. So.
You guys have a pretty heavy senior class too, right? So what's that leadership like this season?
We honestly, on our team, we have a really good family kind of aspect, and that's what we want to do for our newcomers is like, we want to establish our team culture, which is like our family kind of a thing. And the seniors are all really close. They all have their own ways of leading the team and things like that. So I think we all really do work well together.
And hosting that opener, how's the excitement among the team building up when you get to really do it at home?
We are so pumped. Last year we beat some of the top teams at home. And it's just like the vibe our crowd gives us is like nothing I've ever experienced. It's just like so great to be here, so we're all really pumped for that.
And with a lot of seniors on the team, how do you help the underclassmen just keep their emotions in check, just even though regardless it's a very exciting thing just to go out and do their thing?
I would say on our team communication is key, and we're not the kind of team that's like seniors, like freshmen do everything. Like I said, the family aspect, like getting everyone involved, talking.
What are some aspects that you guys are really hitting hard and working on in order to improve from last season?
I would say consistency. We have a tend to, like our team is really good about having a fight, but sometimes we'll get in a hole and we'll eventually get ourselves back out of there, but I'd rather not have the hole. So I would say consistency in setting, hitting, all that kind of stuff.
Skylar, been a lot of talk about this being your last year. What are some of your goals, maybe personally and as a team this year going into your senior year?
For me personally, I broke the record for hitting percentage last year. I would like to break that again. And coach also sets some standards for me as a middle blocker, so I'd like to get a block per set and do well in servicey, things like that. For our team, we want to go for it all. We have a really good returning class, and we have a great incoming class. And even in the first day, we're all gelling really well. So we want to go for division champs. We want to go for regionals, nationals. Like we're reaching for everything this year.
Kind of piggybacking off Aaron, when you think about the middles, the outside hitters, the liberos, like I know it's all different positions, but what work have you guys done together throughout this off season to get to this point and improve?
What have we done together?
The work, any work during the off season.
We did have some of our girls stay in the summer, and I feel that shows how committed we are to being here. So I was here for summer too, and some of our DS and our other middle and one of our outsides, and we really do push conditioning because we want to be at the top of our game as soon as we come in. So we're not starting from the bottom, we're starting higher. So.
All right, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Okay, next up is Chris Hogue. Chris is entering his senior year as a linebacker at UTPB. He was the 2018 linebacker of the year, first team All Lone Star Conference, third team All-American, and was the preseason defensive player of the year for the Lone Star Conference. Chris, that was the first week of camp. What did you see from the guys?
It was good. We saw a lot of competition between one another and everything. You know how the saying goes, iron sharpens iron. So coming in, I know coaches emphasize competition. I think we've done a good job of it.
Coach said that people are really excited about the defense this year. Did you see that in the first week?
Yeah, I mean, I think with a lot of the guys we have returning and a couple guys coming back off of injury from last year, it's exciting, and I know as a defensive unit, we're super stoked and ready to get the season rolling.
And being one of the leaders of that defense, how do you take that responsibility on?
Just being there for the guys, leading by example, making sure that I can help out in anything that they need, whether it be in the playbook or outside of football, and then just, like I said, leading by example and doing right.
Just speaking to kind of the response.
From the peanut gallery.
Sorry, just back here. For you as a senior in the senior class, obviously when you guys came here, you knew that this senior year was going to be a big year for you guys. 4 years in the program. What kind of responsibility do you guys feel like you're taking on as a senior class, knowing that this year you're full strength in that sense. You do have a senior class, and you've had these returns coming back for 4 years now.
I think it just gives us more confidence because a lot of us have played a long time in this conference now, played a lot of games and had a lot of experience. So I think with experience comes confidence, and I think we're a very confident group, and I know that as a senior class we're excited to rewrite some records and get this year rolling.
And as a whole, people have spoken a lot of the UTPB. They hear a lot about growth. So you've been here obviously the whole trip. So when you think about from your freshman year to now, what's the kind of growth you've seen when you look around?
I mean, it's everywhere. It's from our practice field to the big new facility being built right next to it, to just the campus growing, and I mean, you can see it everywhere you look around here, and it's pretty cool.
You think that's contributed to the maybe excitement of the players when they see what's going around here and what this program is about when it's being invested in?
For sure. I mean, the young guys are looking forward to all that and know that they're going to have top-notch facilities for years to come, and I know future recruits will go really enjoy that as well.
Future's bright, of course, but looking at this season, what's it going to take for you guys to maybe take that next step and get some more wins out there on the field?
Just consistency, because I mean, I think a lot of games we played really well for 2, 3, sometimes 4 quarters and just didn't finish the 4th quarter, or we started too slow and couldn't even dig ourselves out of the hole. So I think coming out and just being the hammer the whole time and finishing the game.
They mentioned you've received some accolades preseason and last year. What's that like for you? How do you take those things?
It's nice, but again, I'm more worried about wins. So for me, I don't put too much into that stuff. I'd rather be out there with my teammates winning.
Good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Head volleyball coach Tim Love. Dolphins are coming off a trip to the Lone Star Conference Championships for the first time, and we're picked 11th today in the conference in the Lone Star Conference preseason.
Good afternoon. It's an exciting time for our volleyball program here at UTPB, and I'm glad to be speaking with you today about it. One thing I wanted to open with was just one of our goals for this year was to start how we finished. We finished very strong last year, kind of a breakthrough and turnaround, and got to play and beat some of the best teams in the conference and region. And we're excited to start today and kind of, begin where we left off. So that's kind of our theme for this preseason.
So you obviously just mentioned starting how you finish. How do you take that momentum and carry it over?
I think we're led by our senior class. They've been here with me for 3 or 4 years, and it's the first time we've really had a upper class team. We had some good leadership last year from a couple of seniors, but this is the first year we've had like 4 seniors that I've recruited and trained. And not just physically, but our team culture, like Skylar mentioned, and just the dedication and work in the off season. So that's where it began, was in the off-season training that you spoke about before. We have stuff from our strength coach that they have to do over the summer, and we do a fitness test the first day. So physically, we're at a good spot. We're at the best spot we've been coming in. I think we had 80 to 90% of our players pass the first try. And then it comes down to skills, and we're going to have to work hard on that this year. We have a short preseason. But ultimately, it's going to be how the team gels and how they communicate and work together and fight hard for each other. So that's something we're going to be developing this preseason.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, can you kind of talk about that senior class? Because it's a pretty big senior class. Can you talk about the impact that they'll have this season and on some of the younger players?
Yeah, they've all grown as players under me, and they've become better and improved, but they've also become better teammates and better leaders. And to me, that's crucial. It's a long season, and there's going to be ups and downs and close games. And having that senior leadership that has the experience, that's played in the Lone Star Conference, that knows what's coming, they can advise the younger players and pick them up when they're down. They've been through a lot of the same experiences. Like our senior class, their first 2 years were tough. We were playing freshmen and sophomores against juniors and seniors, and we didn't have a lot of success, but they stuck with it. They learned what they had to do, and they can help the younger players we have this year step up. And kind of to piggyback on your question, last year we were lucky to have some freshmen first-year players step up. Annalise Lucio, Haley Robinson, and Quincy Strambler were able to play and start and do a great job. And we're going to need a couple more new players to step up and do that this year to kind of replace what we lost last year.
Coach, the conference has since grown since last year. Just tell us, what you expect with the added competition and everything.
Yeah, it's much bigger. We're the biggest conference in the country now, and I believe 18 of the schools play volleyball. And we have a unique schedule this year, but fortunately we've seen some of them in the past when we were in the Heartland or played them in non-conference. But the format we're playing this year is a little bit unique, so we're mostly focused on the West Division of the Lone Star. That's going to be our first goal, is to win that or qualify to the conference tournament through that. So there's 10 games against the Western teams in our conference that are going to be our first focus. But as Skylar mentioned, we have bigger goals than just that. So we want to, play well or beat everybody, and some other specific goals like that. But yeah, it's going to be a challenge for everybody with that new schedule and new teams. But I'm confident in our team. We have one of the toughest schedules, but I like it that way. I think that's how you get better. You play good teams and learn and improve, and hopefully beat good teams and maybe earn an at-large bid for the NCAAs.
What was your What was your initial reaction to that preseason ranking?
I don't really pay much attention to that. I think I spoke to most of you people last year about it, and it was not very accurate last year. And I don't think it's very accurate again this year. So it is what it is. Maybe we'll use it as motivation, prove some people wrong. But I just worry about our side of the net. As a coach, I judge myself, did my team improve from last year? Did we improve from the beginning to the end? Did my players improve? And that's going to be our goal, is to start off strong and keep improving.
And when you think about that deep playoff run, how do you think, what are the lessons you think the team can take from that kind of run and bring it over again into this season?
Great question. I think last year it gave us some confidence. One of our goals was to make the Lone Star tournament. We hadn't done that. And we set some higher goals, didn't achieve all of them, but we achieved that one. And that shows them that hard work pays off. And if we can do that, let's take the next step, and maybe even the next step. So I think just confidence, not just experience, but we've had some success. We've beaten some really good teams. And like Skylar said, if we can just get more consistent, we could beat anybody and everybody.
Just kind of jumping off that, how much different would you say the vibe is for this team going into this season? Because as you mentioned, 2 years before it was tough sledding, and then last year to have the improvement that you made, knowing that this year you have so many returners from the team, how much, I mean, I imagine it's got to be a totally different atmosphere just from that conversation.
Yes, the vibe is definitely positive and upbeat. Last year we were fortunate. We had a lot of players able to play out of position. We had some injuries and things like that. But this year we've got, like I said, almost everybody passed the fitness test. Everybody's healthy. So we feel like we're ready to take a step or two forward. And everybody feels that way, not just our seniors, but all the returners, all the new players are excited to be here and be a part of it and want to contribute. It's not something that they're shy, standing in a corner going, I'm just along for the ride. Now we've got a lot of young ladies that want to help this team go as far as it can.
Coach, as you guys start practices now, what is it that you're going to be really preaching on or maybe looking for when you're at these practices?
Improvement, like I said, development. We try and we want to do things consistently. So we might not be as flashy or as fast or doing all the things we want to do at the end of the season right now, but we want to be consistent at whatever we do, and we want to progress. So once we get consistent at some skills, we're going to add some wrinkles and some new things to our offense and defense that we can use down the line. But it's crucial that we're consistent, not just with our skills and our play, but with our attitude and our work ethic and our team culture, that whether we're winning or losing, we're giving 100%. We're supporting each other. So really everything we do, we want to do it all the time at 100%. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Okay, next up will be co-defensive coordinator and linebackers coach Jacob Martin. Coach, if you'll just start off talking about how your defense has looked so far after the first week.
Excuse me. Defensively, you know, we got some new guys up front and some new guys in different places. So it's a learning process. We're slowly starting to pick it up, and you know, there's some key spots that some guys are coming into that have already made a huge impact and are going to make a huge impact. So it's been a little bit of a slower process than what we've wanted, but those guys have started to really pick up the defense, and we're starting to really look like a cohesive unit.
And we're talking about the upperclassmen a lot now when it comes to defense. So how has their leadership been instrumental in those younger guys up front getting used to everything?
They've really stepped up to taking on that coaching role, where, you know, we don't have to correct as much as coaches. They've already stepped in and told them, hey, you need to fit here. This is your job. Hey, slow down a little bit. This is what you're looking for. They've really done a good job of that, and that's what's helped those young guys come along a lot faster than what they have in the past.
Who were some of those young guys you were impressed by this first week? The new ones.
Up front,
Put you on the spot.
Josiah Whittington had a good first day, and he kind of got a little banged up, as well as Don Varela. Both of them looked really well coming out of the gate. Ready to get those two back because they have a bright future ahead. We have some, you know, a few transfers that have come in. DeAndre Robinson has looked really good at our rover spot. But you know, across the board, you know, there's just guys that are out there making plays. They're hungry. They're ready to go, and they're pushing the older guys. The older guys see how well those guys play, and it's pushing them to say, oh, I gotta actually go hard in practice now. So.
Coach, for people that maybe haven't seen this defense or just kind of learning about it, how would you kind of describe your defensive philosophy? What do you like schematically? What do you like mentality-wise?
We base out of 4-2-5, but we're multiple. We're going to match our personnel with whatever the offensive personnel is. We can look like different defenses every week, so you're not going to get the same thing every week. We try to do what fits us according to what the offense does, and we attack up front. We're going to get after it, and we're going to play really good coverage coverage in the back end.
Coach, I know John O'Kelly, he had a bit of an injury-shortened season last year. How's he been looking so far, and just how excited are you for what this defense can do, assuming he can stay healthy just once they can kind of add him to things?
John's a big piece of our puzzle, and he brings a lot to the table with the way he plays, how hard he plays every play, just the mentality that he brings. It's good to have him back, and I don't know if he is all the way 100% yet, but he's pretty close, and that's kind of a scary thing for offenses to have to defend, because when he is full speed, he's on a whole different level.
And this might be a better question for Coach, but do you anticipate that he'll be ready for that week one? Is that the plan right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going through every practice. He's going through everything. I hope so.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
And we will close today with head football coach Justin Carey.
All right. Fun week concluded. Started a new one. Good hearing volleyball is back. I know they got a lot more support and signing Tanya Allison to a freshman outside hitter with them. I think I got that position right. Little sister Marquis Allison. Marquis played for us for the first 3 seasons, and GA with us now. So I know they added some support from the fans out of the football program. So good luck to volleyball this year. Week 1 was good, and I think the thing for us, we talk about every day, is just trying to go from good to great, and that a lot of that's going to come from the young guys. We spent Saturday not necessarily scrimmaging, but in a lot of live looks with all of our freshmen or younger guys needing reps, and a lot of good talent, and got to get them up to speed with our calls, offense, defense, etc., and the speed of the game. But can't wait to see what some of those guys bring to the table in the fall.
Coach, just to bounce up John, I didn't want to step on your toes again. Did he? I noticed on the roster he's listed as a sophomore. Was he given a red shirt injury exemption? Hard to
He qualifies for it. It's something that really takes place when that time comes.
Okay.
But yeah, he qualifies for it. There wouldn't be any reason that he wouldn't get it. Where the injury happened in the season was within that window to allow for that. Obviously, he was not able to return. So.
You mentioned a lot of that talent. What's the toughest part for you to try and make everything fit in the right spot, especially early on, trying to figure that out?
I think the toughest part is making sure that we're getting enough reps for everybody, and having the opportunities to make sure that our returners, as we talk about Chris Hode, that September 7th, that he's ready to go. He's up to speed and is polished. But at the same time, we're getting the younger guys reps to be able to evaluate them. And that's the greatest challenge is trying to find that balance in the preseason.
Coach said that he was impressed by the newcomers on the defense. Have you seen that across the board with the whole team?
Yeah, newcomers on both sides of the ball, and then obviously in the kicking game as well. We haven't done a whole lot. It's been more drill work in our special teams, but we added 2 great pieces in Spencer Kofor and Hayden DeCasas. Excited to see what those guys do in the kicking game, and offensively, our skill guys have shown the ability to be explosive. We got some great size and speed at the wide receiver position. We have a stable of running backs. Again, the hard part right now is trying to whittle it down and figure out who's going to be able to help us immediately.
Making those decisions, will that have to do with kind of the style of play you like to roll with?
A little bit. I think it's going to be, we kind of went into fall camp. I had some guys in mind who I thought, just based on style of play and what we wanted to accomplish, we're going to be at the forefront of the group of new players, and some other ones have emerged. And at the end of the day, you just got to look at where the production's at and who's able to do what it is you're asking them to do. And if it doesn't quite fit exactly what we envision, well, then we better change. And there's some guys worthy of tweaking some stuff forward.
Coach, I know obviously last year big storyline through the offseason was finding that quarterback starter. You had really 4 guys that you were rotating for. Now that Taylor, toward the end of the season, kind of settled into that position, kind of went into the offseason a little more stability to that position, how much do you think that's helped his development and just kind of knowing what to expect and just in terms of how he settled into that?
Well, I think with Taylor, walking in as an 18-year-old is far beyond his years and maturity. Whatever would have transpired, I don't think he would have handled it any differently, or it would have been a different situation. He just goes about business every single day, and part of that, of his operations is what gave us the confidence to put him in last year. Game 3 against Midwestern State. Excited to have him back for 3 more years, but the same thing as Cameron Mathis. I think both those guys are going to be integral parts as our quarterback, not necessarily a quarterback battle. Both those guys are going to be key contributors to us winning a lot of ball games this fall.
Coach, I kind of asked Chris about it, but I'm sure you can maybe even add to it more. For you guys, what's going to take maybe this season to take the program to that next level, take that next step?
It's a great question, and Monday I'll have a one-word answer for you. We're doing a one-word challenge with our team. The one thing that we're lacking in that is what's the one word we're going to use to kind of define us for this season. I think it's going to take faith, belief, confidence, consistency, and a million other words. They came up with 9 of them in our last team meeting Saturday night, and some deep thought in a couple of those words. But there was great explanation as to where they came from. I think there's a million and one things. At the end of the day, it's just going to be finishing the ball games. I think our guys believe. I think they have faith. I think they have confidence. It's just getting over the hump, and it's pretty cut and dry. Just getting it done.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys.